Well, this I can just move my head, a little sipping, a little dipping.
Sipping and dipping.
The old sip and dip. There's a bar out in Montana I knew called the Sip and Dip. It had a lady dressed up as a mermaid in the back. There was like a pool behind the bar, and she would dive in there with like an air hose and be like, "Woo!"
What state was this?
Montana.
Huh. Was she a corn-fed girl?
They're built sturdy out there.
Sturdy and purdy.
She jumped in, it turned into a wave pool.
I like it. Nothing wrong with a thick mermaid.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that, especially up there. Keep you warm at night.
It does get cold. Yes. Well, hey guys, what's going on here? River Sullivan coming at you right here, right now, pre-recorded yet again for your live listening pleasure for another episode of This Evening Tonight. And as always, well, probably mainly, we're getting up to it to the last time. Is this the last time? Because you got vacation next week.
Yeah, but I'll be back by Friday.
Okay, so
maybe uno or dos.
Wow, maybe for one of his last few episodes here for a while, guys. Is the man, the myth, the legend, the silver fox of the sultry, sippins and swillins of coffees and voluptuous vapings, Scout.
Keeping alive.
There you go. And also here with us, joining us from the other extended families of brothers from other mothers, he's another man of his own legendary terms, with the eyes of an eagle and the beard of a Nordic god. My man, Timmy Fresh. What's up, buddy?
I like that, the Nordic god thing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's one of the best.
It's better than white trash, it is what it is.
Feared by men, adored by women.
Oh, mercy.
So what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Not a whole lot. Figured I'd come here, get on this thing, do this for a little while, then head to the bar and go get drunk later.
There you go. Hey,
my birthday.
It is your birthday, and happy birthday. And what a better way to celebrate your birthday than sitting right here with us, drinking coffee and making dick jokes. Not yet, but I'm sure they're coming.
Yeah,
Yep,
probably.
That's what she said. Nailed it. So to get it started here, guys, let's start off, as always, with this week's coffee. And this week's coffee we're sipping on is by Crimson Cup. It's their signature medium roast known as Midnight Blues, a full-body baker's chocolate and raisin. Did not catch the raisin in that, but okay. It was listed or labeled as the 2016 Roaster of the Year by Roast Magazine. And as the bag reads, since 1991, Crimson Cup has been roasting specialty coffee in small batches in Columbus, Ohio. From the grower to the roaster to you, we understand it takes a lot of hands to create a cup of coffee. Coffee plus community. It's a part of everything we do. In the end, we believe that nothing's better than waking up and knowing the delicious coffee you're drinking is helping to brew better lives and better communities. So again, this is another kind of charity-style coffee here, and I don't really see anything on it as to what it is that they're charitizing or donating to, but I'm sure we'll look that up later.
Just making the world a better place.
I like it. So I'm going to get that sip going.
I'm getting a little annoyed with it. Like, I want a roaster that it's just like puts on his bag. I'm in it for me, but it is good coffee.
We should make our own coffee and call it Cash Grab.
Yeah.
No, you should make a Samuel Jackson coffee.
Yes.
What are you looking at? Drink, bitch!
Good, mother, good.
Oh God! I just realized my gain was unnecessarily high, I think. Nope, didn't blow it. Do you like what you saw?
I was a little curious.
Curious on your birthday, huh?
Mm. Mm-hmm. It's like a little dog rubbing against stuff. I was like, maybe it feels good. I don't know.
So this week, though, for the coffee, I will have to say we do have it kind of done up three different ways. Of course, we did use French press this time. I have mine with a couple things of some sweetener in it, and I quite enjoy the flavor of the coffee. Scott does his flat black with nothing in it. And Mr. Fresh over there did it with, I believe we did a good-sized creamer and I think 2 sweeteners there for you. So how's that treating you full on?
Oh, that's good. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but
yeah,
has a good taste to it. I don't know. It tastes all right.
That'll work.
I'd drink it again. I don't know.
Are you getting any of the flavors out of it, Scott? Like the raisin?
No.
I think the baker's chocolate, maybe a little bit on the aftertaste.
I do like it, but not necessarily because of any like given subtleties or anything. I like dark coffee. This is pretty dark. Tastes pretty fresh. So
Yeah, and that's it's a medium roast too. Is it
really?
Yeah, it's only a medium roast, but it does have a very dark roast flavor to it. The beans do have a lot of oil on them. I noticed when I cracked the bag and ground it up. But yeah, guys, as always, we will include a link in the description below here for a link to the coffee so you can check it on out there.
Between that and the Copenhagen, I mean, it tastes pretty good.
It was like Brad, man. Brad was like just dip and sniff and slugging beers and trying coffee at the same time. I was like, you such a man.
I wouldn't call it a top 5, maybe a top 10.
Yeah.
I'd call it a coffee.
Yeah.
Decent.
Hits the top 10.
Yeah, I give it a top 10 status there. It's solid, good coffee, nothing to write home about. And what do we want to talk about?
I don't know. Sounds like me when I'm pissing in the morning.
Sounds foamy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what's with all these bubbles?
Is it bad when your pee's foamy? Is that everything?
I don't think so. I just never understood. Like, I drink so much beer when I go out drinking. My pee is so clear. You're just like, hell yeah, I'm hydrated as hell. Next day you wake up, you're just like,
You're dry.
No, you're not hydrated, sir.
Well, fun fact for you for science is I discovered that the reason coffee does the same thing. Makes you pee a lot. Except the difference is, like, when you pee with coffee, it smells like your pee's fresh brewed in the mountains of Colombia or Nicaragua, but it's a diuretic.
Mm-hmm.
Like coffee, tea, and beer especially pisses out all the hydration. You're peeing clear because that's all the good water leaving your body. Said, we're out. We're saving room for more alcohol. It's your body looking out for you so you can drink more.
There you go. I like that.
And I'm sure in actual science that is not the reasoning. Like, it's the body's way of allowing you to drink more. Like, I want to see that in a health class in high school.
No, that's fine. Pretty soon, like over the evening, your blood type changes from, B positive to Coors Light and Jack Daniels. I like it.
Ah, Coors. That was old Brad's go-to. He's a silver bullet kind of man to keep him from changing back into a werewolf come daybreak,
I don't know. He's gone through phases. It was Bud Light there for the longest time.
Bush lattes.
Then it was Bush lattes, and then it was Natty Lights and
God.
Coors Lights. I'm just like, man, you make enough money, you can buy decent beer. Like Bush Light's not bad as long as it's ice cold.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it starts getting warm, you throw it away.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
He introduced me to Coors because I never really drank too much of it, and I was like, you know what? It's a solid beer. I grabbed a 30 rack for him when we were doing the recording session out in the building, and I think I had 2 or 3, and then so we had like 28 of them left, and I put a hurting on those. Like they made it almost a month, and they were just gone.
No, it's a good day drinking beer, honestly.
It is, and it's good smooth finish.
Mm-hmm. I know when I went down to Texas a couple weeks ago for a wedding, that's what everybody drank down there was Coors Light. I was very surprised.
What part of Texas?
Fort Worth, Dallas area. I stayed in the historical stockyards. Wasn't too bad. I had a good time. Really good Mexican food. Never had cow tongue before. Had that down there.
Oh God,
it was actually pretty good.
What is the viscosity of the meat of a cow tongue?
It almost
what compare
no.
this
It reminded me because I had 2 tortillas of cow tongue. On corn tortillas, and I had a flour tortilla with beef tips, and it was just like eating beef tips.
Huh.
Weird.
It was actually really good.
Did they have it chopped up and everything?
Mm-hmm.
See, I could get around it if it was chopped up.
Yeah.
Like I remember somebody at our other job brought in chicken hearts and sauerkraut, but they weren't chopped up. It looked just like it was a tiny little heart. And he was like, "It's cooked and everything. Try it." And and I threw it in my mouth, and like my brain just did not want to get over the fact that you're chewing on a heart right now. Like, and I was just like just chewing. And I'm like, "You can do it. You have eaten way worse food than this. You can do it." And body just said nope, and I spit it up. Just almost threw up. So I had to get it out of there before it went full send.
Yeah. Anymore, what I tell people, like say, because I've cooked cow tongue before that, and it's not bad. It was. You just cook it in a crock pot, you get the casing off of it, and then you can chop it real thin and cook it in a skillet and stuff. But
when you say the casing,
the membrane that's on the tongue.
Ah.
Ow.
I did not know this was going to be the weird food episode, but I'm loving it.
No, honestly, it's not too bad. I mean, honestly, if you go to, say, Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, stuff like that, a lot of those food trucks that people stop at, the taco trucks, a lot of it's cow tongue.
No shit.
Yep.
I've had haggis before, and I wasn't mad at that. Like, I just didn't think about what it was. It's, everything shoved into the sheep's stomach.
Yeah. Anymore, what I do is if I cook something that I know people are going to turn their nose up, I'll cook it, have them eat it. And they're like, man, that's really good. I'm like, funny, you should mention that.
You just ate chicken penis. Like,
while I was down there, we were at a bar, restaurant, having a good time, and looking at the menu, and I see something on there. I asked the waitress, I was like, what is this? Everybody starts calling me a dumbass. It was snails. I was like, well, excuse me. I didn't go to French culinary school. I didn't know that word.
escargot?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't want those. I was like, what are calf fries? Didn't know what calf fries were. Apparently, they're sheep nuts.
Ooh. Don't we just call them like Rocky Mountain oysters or something?
Yeah, but I guess that's bull testicles. I don't know with the different animal if it's called something different.
I think there's like Blue Mountain oyster or something like that. I think that's like goat balls, goat nuts, goat testes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I ordered them though. They're pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it tasted like country fried steak actually.
No shit.
Or I was very intoxicated. Probably could have been both. Who knows?
Country fried nuts.
So then the rest of the evening was like, oh, I heard you like balls in your mouth. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Oh, let's see. That was good. Scott, you ever eat anything kind of weird like that?
Yeah. I can't think of any off the right of the top of my head, but I know
Of all the stuff overseas?
Yeah, I've had some dumpster goat. That was interesting.
What is dumpster goat?
So the goats of Afghanistan, unless they're in the rural areas, but like most in the urban areas, they graze on the piles of garbage in the street. So we call them dumpster goats.
So it's like the Middle East version of a raccoon. Like we have trash panda, they have dumpster goat.
Yeah.
They also have dumpster cows.
Yeah.
Iraq, you'll see them just walking down the street, and they're just like, oh, there's a random cow just walking down Main Street. Cool.
Their meat handling standards over there
are non-existent.
Yeah. I once saw them unload a whole side of beef out from a back of a moving van. That's what it looked like. And literally just drag it across the road.
Like the skin carcass? Like,
yeah, it was skinned. Everything. It was
so
all,
it's just
it was
raw
dressed
meat.
out. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just literally drag it across the road. Dirt road, by the way.
Just adds to the flavor. And just salt, sand, I don't know. Just, yeah.
Fecal matter, whatever.
Yeah, maybe some poppy floating around depending on, what area of Afghanistan you're in.
I've ate bugs on a dare before, but yeah.
Like bugs over there or bugs over here?
Here.
Okay. So speaking of which, next week, or I guess pretty much the day that this episode is coming out, we should be in full swing of Brood 10.
Oh, God.
Of the cicadas. That is the one of the 17-year variations, and it is also what's known as the biblical version of the cicadas.
Sign of the times.
They come out by the trillions. Now, for us in West Virginia, we're right on the line before Maryland to where Brood 10 is all going to be in like the Maryland and eastern panhandle of our state. Checking online, we might not get any over here, which I'm hoping for because I'm getting ready to buy a motorcycle, and I've been smacked before by the ones in 2016, and my left arm went numb because it hit so hard I thought I had a stroke. And then it ended up in my shirt, clawing at my back. Not a good time when you're doing like 60 miles an hour on a scooter.
Fair enough. I've had bugs before. I've had chocolate-covered grasshoppers.
Will you eat a cicada? They are pure protein, from what I'm told. There's a big recipe book, I guess, out of Maryland that's already come out for these things.
Raw, I probably won't eat it raw. Maybe threw some oil through it in a skillet or something, cooked it like that. Like they cook like grasshoppers and stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen people, they cut them open, and it's like a Cadbury egg where like the fondant or whatever comes out of it, like the white goo, and it's just pure protein.
Sure, some other white things are pure protein, but I'm not eating that.
Milk, sugar, egg.
No, what was it? I was reading this article, and it said that in the future, that's going to be one of the only sustainable food sources with our population growth.
What, cicadas?
It's going to be insects in general.
What was that movie? Snowpiercer. You ever seen Snowpiercer?
Is that where they're on the train?
They're on the train. It had the guy that played Captain America.
Yeah.
And you remember, like, they were getting those nutrient bars. It looked like a big chocolate bar. And they come to find out as he gets further on up in the train, spoiler alert, that it's all like the centipedes and roaches and like dead bodies. Everything's just ground up and makes these nutrient bars. It was like the old Soylent Green. Soylent Green is people. Like, I think it was that a Twilight Zone thing or a Hitchcock thing? I don't remember.
Hitchcock had some weird stuff.
The Birds. The Birds was one of my favorite Hitchcock, TV adaptations, I guess, because it was a book before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think Lovecraft had some weird stuff too.
Oh, yeah. What was, you're talking H.P. Lovecraft, right? I know that we've had a fellow on the show here before, JD. He was a big H.P. Lovecraft guy. I'm not familiar with his works. I hear a lot of people talking about Lovecraft, but... Well,
yeah, he was very different. It was a lot of like a society within a society sort of thing, and some of his books, you're just like, I hope that this is real.
So it's your
Like
predecessor.
squid monsters from other entities, and
Did he write War of the Worlds?
I have no idea.
That was
Or was that Orwell?
yeah, you got it.
Okay. That was the one where they, I remember like War of the Worlds, when they did the radio broadcast of it. You ever read the news about that? Like people were killing themselves because they thought it was real.
Yeah.
Because it was before TV, so everybody was always glued to the radio and everything. And that was back in the days of like Roosevelt, where he'd have his fireside chats over the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced a similar type of thing back in the late 90s, maybe mid 90s. Can't remember if I was in middle school or high school or I don't even remember what broadcasting company did this, but they did like the same type of thing where it was like it was a news report, like live news, breaking news, that there was like an asteroid heading for the planet, and it was like a planet killer. And they went through like the whole storyline, and the guy like gave this like sincere goodbye speech at the very end, like when they were counting down. Scared the crap out of me.
There was a Facebook post like that last year.
I mean, I even knew it was fake, and it still scared the crap out of me.
There was one I came across it on Facebook. I don't even remember where I was, what group I was on, or what page I was on.
It was the duffel bag, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't the duffel blog, the Onion. No, but I was reading. It was some kind of news, and this guy commented in there and said, "Yeah, this is who I am. I used to work for like the CIA or something like that. Retired, and he said at this date at this time there's going to be an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth, and it's going to be a planet killer." And that was it. Like, and he just said, God rest our souls. Like, just it was very sincere, but it was very short.
Less is more.
Yeah, and I couldn't find anything on it. Like, that was the only thing. Like, in the fact that in a rational thinking world that we should be living in, you'd look at that and go, he's crazy. There's nothing else on it, so it's not true.
But in the back of your mind, you're
in
like...
the back of my mind, I'm like, holy shit. Like,
they just silenced him.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming.
And
it's coming.
I went back later and couldn't find the post. It was gone. Like, I legitimately felt fear. I was like, oh. But then I decided to, all right, hey, if it happens, it happens, and whatever, let's move on. But
no, just get really drunk that night. If it happens, you won't remember.
Hell, I think even sober, I don't think I'll remember either. Just be bloop, gone. And if a meteor ever hits, do you want to be the guy that's like up here on top of Casa de Sole in the mountain, watching all the water roll in from the impact, and then maybe we'll be okay, but maybe we'll just drown? Or would you rather be the guy that's in like the first, like the initial impact?
I want to be the guy that's in a sailboat trying to ride the waves.
Yeah.
Play some Fortune Son, just screaming on down there.
Let's get it going, son! Woo!
Yeah, I'd like to think I would try to take every option I had at survival, regardless.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just like a 0.001% chance.
See, that's the thing. When me and the old lady would talk about things like the way this country's acting right now, or we talk about like, Civil War and people acting crazy, this and that, and like just like the world as we know it just kind of coming to an end in terms of just strife and God knows what. I've told her, I said, I'm a survivor. I said, we are going to make it through this. And she was under the aspect of, or the concept of, just let me die, just leave me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm determined. One of those, like you talk about leading for survival, is I'm determined that no matter what, I want to make it through that shit so I can be part of the rebuilding process. because I think that would be
Right.
really cool. Just to be able to have a hand in like helping start over if should the worst ever happen.
Yeah. I can understand that thought process.
She's like, but all the bad stuff you got to go through. And I said, exactly. Like that, you'll remember going through all the bad that potentially would ever happen, that it makes the good so much more.
Yeah, like, you'll remember some of the good stuff in your life, but I guarantee you all the bad shit that's happened, all the stuff you've been through, I've been through, you've been through, things of that nature. A lot of times you laugh about it like, man, that sucked. But damn if it wasn't fun.
That's true to an extent. Yeah.
Man, I have no idea how I'm going to timestamp this episode because we've just been all over the board so far. Cow tongues and apocalypse and coffee.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, that's one of the biggest things it is like the will to survive, you know. Like, what was that one dude got his arm trapped in a rock when he was,
Oh, yeah, they made the movie out
they
of
made
it.
the movie out of?
Yeah, where he,
Dude
like,
cut off his own fucking arm.
with a Leatherman, with
Yeah.
like the little tiny saw and a Leatherman, carved his own arm off. It was like 117 hours he was stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Well, at that point, you either have two choices. You're either going to lay down and die, or you're going to do whatever you can
to survive.
Yeah.
I need to watch that movie. I read the news article on it, but it just seems like it could be a really... Have you seen it? Is it a good movie, or anybody seen it?
It's not bad. I've seen it. It's got the,
James Franco, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, that was an interview and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it plays it up, you know, stuff like that makes it suspenseful. Like, oh, what's going to happen next?
I was gonna say, like, I can't see that movie being that long. I'm gonna wager there's a lot of in his head thinking about shit
Yeah.
and flashbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just going through the motions, trying to figure out what to do, and yada, 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 things of that nature.
So once he cut his arm off, how did he stop the bleed? Did he cauterize it? Did he like do a tourniquet? I'm guessing.
I'm pretty sure he did a tourniquet.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, one of the main things I remember from that thing was he had a Camelback,
Yeah.
and then he pissed in the Camelback, and then he drank it again.
Whew.
I remember that from there.
I know that. What was it? I mean, drinking your own pee has had applications throughout time.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of a recreational thing on the internet, but.
You do you, man.
I remember I used to watch like World War II documentaries and stuff like that, and the Japanese, when they were in Iwo Jima and everything, getting bombed out and under attack, that there were guys too that they were hiding in the caves. Some were like trapped under buildings, and these Japanese soldiers would. I remember an interview with one. He said we would drink our water, and then we ran out of water, and then they would like lick the sweat off each other's foreheads for hydration.
It's a normal Thursday night for me, but whatever.
Yeah. So then when they stopped sweating, they had to drink each other's pee. And then he ended with, and then we began to pee blood. I was like, when you could see this look in this guy's eyes, he was just,
Yeah.
that was,
That's one thing I'll say about them. In that time period is, right or wrong, regardless, like, they were some pretty dedicated troops. Like, if I remember correctly, like, the very last holdout, like, didn't even surrender till, like, 77. Like, there was a guy on one of them random remote islands that was up in there.
I've always heard that as a story. Is that really
No,
true?
that's real. I mean, I can't cite articles right off the top of my
Because
head.
I remember
but
seeing it
I've
on a
read about
TV
it.
show where it was like he was a kamikaze pilot that crash landed.
Like, it literally took somebody from the Japanese government to come there in person to his cave and be like, listen, guy, you got to stop. Enough's enough.
Jesus.
A lot of it too was just the propaganda that the emperor and everything was doing.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
just
yeah.
throwing it out there. They're saying, "Do not surrender because they'll kill you regardless. Fight to the last."
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Tom Hanks did the series The Pacific, and he pulled up the news article that Marines they had found that was being sent out to the Japanese, and they translated it. Said the Marines were recruited from jails and prisons and insane asylums, and no matter what, they're coming to kill you, even if you surrender, and they're going to rape your family and all this to give them that fighting spirit, that not, I wouldn't say desperation, but that we will not stop because we know that they're not going to stop. I mean, that's early edition PsyOps right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do the same thing as a military, like,
That you?
yeah, that was me. That was my, the sentry went off for the front door. But, I remember we were talking about there, Tim, I think you were there too, Scott, when we were talking about like boot camp and everything. So, I mean, I was Air Force, and every Sunday though, we would go to church, and it was like the Protestant, but it was like this contemporary Christian, like you said, service, where there'd just be like thousands of you packed in there, and there's like guys on electric guitars and drums, and like they're celebrating the Lord. But then at the end of it, they would play that Toby Keith's Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue song, but it was done with a video that was just the shock and awe campaign of like Iraq and Afghanistan, and they would time the bomb explosions to the music. So it was like, brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. And you see that as a young kid in the military there, like, you signed up. Like, I was one of them guys that signed up right after 9/11. Yeah. So you're seeing that, you're like, yes, this is it, yes. Like, it just gets you pumped up, gives you that fighting spirit, that whatever, that will to keep moving, and that want to get to the finish line, to get your ass online, to get out there and do the Lord's work. What was it they say is, if God be for me, then who be against me, or something like that? Or if God be for them.
If God is for us, who can be against us?
Yeah, that's it.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of propaganda-ish. I mean, that's probably not to the extremes of what Nazi Germany had, but...
Well, they had meth.
Yeah.
That was the whole secret behind the Blitzkrieg that I found out a while ago, was they gave them...
Methamphetamines,
it looked like a pack of Mentos, but it was German meth. Like, they ran 80 miles on foot, like, meth.
But like,
get shit done.
I think, like...
Bobby Possum God's methamphetamine.
Like in warfare, I think that's like necessary to somewhat of an extent.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you have to be in that headspace, almost like hating your enemy. Like even if like the things you're believing are not accurate, because it's not natural to want to take other lives.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but it's...
Some people are wired different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of it is how you rationalize what you have to do, or what you did do.
Thank you.
How
That's
you
what
rationalize it in your head.
Yeah.
Like one thing Buddy told me before, he was like, if it's between my mom crying over me and a dude I don't know's mom crying over him, I'm sorry, my mom's not crying. You know, it's just
nicely put.
Getting too vulgar and everything else.
No, that's exactly what I was trying to articulate. Like there's I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say.
God damn it.
I was reading...
You're on a roll.
Man.
I was reading a book. I'm an avid reader, by the way. I read all sorts of crap.
I'm a good reader.
I read big words.
I read good.
Lots of pictures. But it was about some dude that was a Navy SEAL sort of thing, and he talked about how he would get more choked up killing an animal than he would a human being during his job. And he said because whenever he killed an animal, it was taking it for nutrients, you know, feeding his family, things of that nature. But when he killed another human being, whether for his country, whatever it may be, he was protecting his tribe.
Yeah.
And he was like, and he had no problem protecting the people that he loved. Which, you know, it's all how you rationalize it.
Yeah. I would just say, too, it was, at least a human being can fight back, I guess, you know. Man is the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've also known dudes that once they went in the military and all, and say they were in special forces or whatever it may be, they stopped hunting. Like after you've hunted a human being, you know, like what's the point of an animal?
Other than meat? Yeah. Yeah. I never really got much into hunting. Like I said, for me, it's, I don't want to get up that early. It's cold. Then I got to sit still, and I'm a very fidgety person. That's why I like fishing. Because I just cast and reel. Whether I catch anything or not, it's the OG fidget spinner.
Yeah. I like hunting. I think it's peaceful, just being out there in the woods by yourself, just seeing nature and its beauty and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Whenever I do harvest an animal and stuff like that, you know, I know that I'm going to eat this animal, you know, provide sustenance and things of that nature versus just shooting it for the shits and giggles.
See, that's where I need you, Fresh, because when, like, if and when shit happens, world goes to shit, I always welcome people up here in Casa de Sully. We're isolated for a good part. We got a lot of stuff hooked up to solar, but I'm a shitty hunter. But I can skin it and I can butcher it, and I can do a hell of a job at eating it.
There you go.
And I know she can cook the hell out of anything.
We'll have to do some catfishing.
Well, you like noodling?
No, I'm talking just sitting out there getting drunk and just throwing some chicken livers out there on pantyhose and just wheeling them in at night. Then having a little stove set up out there, so as soon as they come out, skin them real quick, bread them, fry them up.
Wait, what are we catfishing for? Like actual catfish?
Yeah.
You use pantyhose?
You take chicken livers,
Uh-huh.
and you wrap it in pantyhose and throw it out there, so they can't rip the chicken liver off the hook.
No shit.
Mhm.
I used to know guys that would noodle for catfish, where they'd find them in like the sandbars under the mud and the trees. They'd shove their arm down the fish's throat that would take him clear up to their arm, and then just throw it in the boat.
Yeah, I'm not sticking my fucking arm in a
Saw that
bark
on
asshole.
ESPN 8, the Ocho, years ago, and it was the funniest shit ever though to see though. That too was it was like two Bubbas, just shirtless, just big old fat boys, just noodling fish into an arm, and it was like ESPN 2, sponsored.
It looks like fun, but I have no drive to do that at
Shove
all.
your arm down the throat of something that's got some teeth that may or may not have the ability to do some damage.
I'm good.
This feels like a bad idea.
Like one would like throw it over, the other one would like club it over the head and be like, "Ah, hey, you like me now, fish?" Like, it's like Jesus.
That's probably how they get their dates too. It is what it is.
Hey, got that one, Skeeter. She's mine.
You're my sister.
I don't think I could do that either. Shoving hands down the throats of fish, and it's all wet and gross. But speaking of wet and gross, let's pull the truck on over and talk about this week's trip into Duke Cannon country. This week's product, guys, is another line of the dry ice super cold products from Duke Cannon. And this is the dry ice cooling antiperspirant clinical strength deodorant bar stick thing. Built for hard-working men who run uncomfortably hot. Charcoal enriched to provide superior sweat and odor defense with menthol to cool. Part of the trench warfare line of menthol and eucalyptus. And as it writes here on the back of the stick, dry ice is Duke Cannon's most capable and reliable force ever built to eliminate the daily threat and constant agitation of heat intolerance. Put the heat on hold. Naturally derived fragrance and not for clowns. This stuff
Does it literally say not for clowns?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's the I meant to tell you the wipes, the bag of wipes
Yeah.
that I had. I looked at the front and I didn't see it before. And it said used for like hard working days, and then it said meat sweats.
Nice.
Like it was like a cool wipe. But no, this stuff is it was one of the ones they sent me that you smelled it. It's like Vicks Vapor Rub in a bar. Have you smelled this?
Mm-hmm.
I put this on my underarms to give it a test shot, and holy hell, it was a winter storm warning in my underarms. I'm like, had my arms up like this because it was so cold I didn't want my skin to touch. But yeah, this is going in my travel bag when I head down to the beach as well. And as always, check out the link to our Facebook page here where you will be able to get a 10% off coupon there for all your orders at DukeCannon.com. Also, some news here for you. Scott, you'll be interested in this. Got a hold of the Duke here yesterday for...
The Duke?
The Duke. Yeah, the
man.
company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For our introduction into the affiliate program to make us official
What?
Duke Cannon affiliates. Like right now, we fall under the ambassador or brand ambassador program to offer these coupons. This will make us official Duke Cannon affiliates.
There you go.
Look at you doing big things.
I know, it's great.
Then we could do all Duke things. Like pretty soon it'll be Duke mayo.
Duke mayonnaise.
And those Duke
the
smoked sausages.
Duke smoked sausage. Yeah, the peach ones you brought yesterday, those were great.
Those are pretty fucking good. I'm surprised.
I need you to send me about 50 of those.
50 what?
Those bars of deodorant. Maybe like 25.
What, these?
Yes, in about a month.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I need
I will
to.
field test them.
Well, I know exactly where you can go to get 10% off your order at DukeCannon.com.
And where would that be?
The Facebook page.
Oh, okay. All right.
And what's the Facebook page called?
This Evening Tonight podcast.
Oh, okay, cool.
But there's always a little clicky link under the descriptions and everything. But let's see, y'all. Oh, told you about the new soap. Hopefully that'll be in here for next week's episode. Bay Rum.
Oh, yeah, he told me about that.
I saw that flip shit and immediately bought two.
Yeah.
I know you're sitting there and you're like, hold the fuck on. I was like, what's going
Bay
on?
Rum soap, holy Jesus!
I think you were Captain Morgan in a previous life or something like that.
Something.
You're all about the rum.
I don't. Well,
scented
see, that
thing.
was the thing. That wasn't until like a year ago that I just tried Bay Rum scent, and I was like, I am in love with it because I was using Old Spice and like the OG Old Spice aftershave in the porcelain with the stopper, like the plug at the top of it. That was my aftershave of choice for years. And then I discovered.
I figured you'd be more of a Brute fan.
I mean, I did use Brute years ago. I mean, my aftershave is Penald Clubman, like the old Clubman that everybody used to have, but it's just the Bay Rum edition. I love it. You know, even though I live in the mountains, I like to
Smell like the ocean.
smell like I've been hanging out on a boat, you know, just drinking the rum, enjoying it.
Like a drunk pirate.
Oh, yes. Now I'll just be smelling the skin.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well,
funny thing this morning, my dad calls me. He's like, "Hey, Timmy, happy birthday, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah." Talking about life, this, that, and the other, things of that nature. He's like, "Son, what do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "Dad, I'm 34. If I want something, I buy it. You know, it's not a big deal." By the way, he is horrible at giving gifts. He bought me a whole bunch of body wash one year.
Mhm.
Then my birthday, it was like electronic toothbrush and mouthwash. And I'm just like, are you trying to tell me like I have bad hygiene? Like what's going on right here? So today he was like, you should get a bidet.
Santa can't wipe my ass now, Father? Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what it's coming to.
Daddy, is there something you're trying to tell your boy?
He was like, yeah, those things are nice.
I mean, they can be handy.
He's like, yeah, clean the undercarriage really well.
I mean, they made a huge comeback here for because of COVID.
Isn't it like over in Europe and stuff, all that stuff?
They use it
have a lot
because
of them.
it replaces toilet paper for the most part. Because there's ones in Japan, I know, because I don't remember why, but I got on the subject of researching bidets and like most high tech toilet. Like Japan has ones that washes the undercarriage, like blots it with like a little robot dabby thing. It's like bloop, bloop.
I'm good, man. That
Gives
that's
it a little
creepy.
spritz of like a smell good, like
Sings you a song.
yeah, like
Lights up.
it just caresses the hole, you know, it just takes care of all the business. But there has become a medical condition out of that because the action of wiping the rear with that just rough American, just gritty
Horsepower.
ass toilet paper, toughens up the starfish because of the friction.
Yeah, that's right.
And because I guess the Japanese have been doing that without toilet paper for so long, there's like they get sick easier because it's not as fortified back there for whatever reason. Like, it's
Literally
so-
not as hard as us.
It's so tender back there. I don't understand why. I just remember reading this article going, I don't get it. But I've never been prouder to be an American in my life.
My butthole is rough.
We have the toughest buttholes of any country. But yeah, then we get a toilet paper shortage because people are idiots. And then they're like, well, here, hook this up to your faucet. And then it runs a hose here. And you got a stomper pedal that you can just pressure wash your undercarriage with.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what the 3 seashells were?
You know, I don't know. I still don't know how you use the 3 seashells.
I don't know either.
Because I watched that movie the other day, too, and I was like,
Because everybody wonders. I think it was like it had to be something involving water. I don't know.
I'm like, what do? Do you scrape with it? Like,
Yeah, that was my first thought too, but
you need a really tough butthole for that one.
I just went to Google and typed in, how do you use the 3? And then the top thing was 3 seashells. So we're going to find out here.
And another thing, what is a ZJ? So if I don't know, I can't afford it.
If you got to ask, you can't afford it.
But I've always been curious what that was.
Oh, somebody made a diagram.
It shows you a diagram.
Step 1, take 2 of the seashells and place them between your fingers to be used like chopsticks. Step 2, using the 2 seashells, gently pull on the feces to remove them from your posterior until bowels have been completely evacuated. Step 3, using the 3rd seashell, scrape away any fecal remnants from your posterior. And step 4, dispose of all 3 seashells in the toilet and flush.
Okay. Whenever I have a bowel movement, a good little push gets everything out. Like, what do they have where it's just hanging there?
Like, because
Is it like a dog? You got to drag their ass across the grass to get it off?
it was a butt, and it's just like reaching behind him, like going, and like pulling the turd out of him.
Might as well just call them poo sticks.
Just not tough enough to handle it, I guess.
I mean, I went to Reddit to look it up, so I mean, there you
Fair
go.
enough.
It's just
Just the imagery in my mind right now. I'm just I'm like
10-4, sir. We have capture. Like Bravo 6 going dark. Oh Christ!
This is going to be a pretty good episode.
This is definitely a. It's not really a ranting episode. It's we're just all over the board with it, and I like it. I'll probably save myself some time and not even timestamp it and be like, just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I seen one thing on there on the old Facey Space. It had I think it was the duffel bag, and they posted something on there. Said the Sergeant Major of the Army said that all brass must be picked up, or it was a tweet they put out, said all brass must be picked up in Afghanistan before troops can leave.
Oh,
And then he commented on there. The actual Sergeant Major of the Army said, "I need 5 volunteers."
So wait, we're talking about the same Sergeant Major of the Army, the one that did away with the shark attack and created the first 100 yards version of BASIC. Like the Sergeant Major of the Army, right?
I'm pretty sure.
That's the highest ranking enlisted, right? Yeah, that's the
Pretty sure
same
so.
dude then. Did you ever look into that stuff?
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, the shark attack is gone.
What?
Completely gone. Like the whole one drill in your face, knife handing you, and then all of a sudden 4 pop up, and it just goes on for like an hour, and you're just like, I don't know what he did, but I'm not doing it because I'm not having that happen
Pick
to
it
me.
back up. Turn it to the left. Pick it back up.
What's
set it back down.
and he's like, oh.
One of the funniest things I remember about that was we were on those cattle buses in Fort Benning, going there, doing our thing, whatever. And this kid, I guess, had drank a lot of water and had a piss on the bus. So he pisses in his Camelback.
Oh, God.
So we get off the bus, they're having us do push-ups, this, that, and the other. And they're like, now everybody drink.
Hydrate.
He's like, hydrate, drink on your Camelback. And the kid put it on. He's like, you're not drinking. And I just looked at him, and he starts just sipping on his. Oh, God. I was laughing so hard.
Sipping on his own pee. Oh, no.
When did they start giving out Camelbacks in BASIC?
I don't know. I had canteen.
I had
Yeah.
both.
I was Air Force.
Oh, I had both.
So, this same Sergeant Major who did away with the shark attack redid the first like opening to basic training, where there's footage of it because he live streamed it to like the Army Times and everything, and it was wonderful. He was like, "Yeah, this was us here. We're doing this," and this drill instructor was standing there, and he's got his like COVID mask on, and he's like, "What do you think, drill? How do you think?" He's like, "Oh, I think it's great, sir. I think it's, you know," like you could tell he was just blatantly. But they started him off with a bunch of gear, and you see all the new boots like running around off in the distance, and they had like cases and cases of MREs, and they had to figure out how to organize it. And they're just kind of like, all right, okay. Like they're not doing anything. They're just kind of not even moving with a purpose. None of that. Well, this guy goes, let's get closer and observe my new program for basic. And he pulls some new boot, some little ginger kid. Said, what do you think of my new program, huh? What do you think? And this kid had to go out for new uniforms immediately after because his balls couldn't fit in those trousers. Because he looked at him and said, well, sir, I thought it would be harder. And you see this sergeant, he's like, oh, you want we can make it hard. I can make it hard right now. I can make it so hard right now. He's like, all right, sir. Well, yeah, it's pretty easy. Yep, see you later. Trots away. You can see the drill in the background, like eyes got all big. He's stifling a laugh. Thank God for the COVID mask, because I'm sure it was hiding a smile.
I mean, that's what you honestly have to break them down completely, then build them up. That's the whole process of basic. That's the whole reason behind it for the most part.
And you know what they end the first 100 yards with, though, now? They get all drills together, they put some kit on, throw a smoke grenade, they move through the smoke and clear an imaginary room. To show them, at the end of however many weeks boot is right now, that's what they're going to be.
You can clear a glass house. Congratulations.
You're an operator. I'm glad that I went through basic when I did, because everybody wants to give me shit for being Air Force. I guarantee you that's sad, that new first 100 yards thing. I mean, now that they've killed off the PT standard until next year. There's no PT testing whatsoever.
Just need 2 more years to retire.
I know it's the Army and the Navy. I don't know how the Air Force is doing, but
well, I think
they still have the bicycle, so it is what it is.
no, they got rid of the bicycle when I came in. We were still doing the 2-mile run, and then in the process of after the bike 2-mile run, and then after boot and tech school, going to my first duty station, they changed the PT standard again. It was like the 1.5-mile run in like 9.5 minutes, which fucking sucked. And then it was like 50 some crunches in a minute, 50 some push-ups in a minute. And I was like, ugh.
that's what we're still at now. They're like piloting a burpee test, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess, I mean,
that burpee's a full body workout though.
Yeah.
Like
PT tests are in this weird gray area right now because of COVID, and they keep pushing the date back.
What does COVID have to do with PT test?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, because
You run, you do push-ups, you do sit-ups.
I mean, if you have the COVID, I know it sucks on the lungs. Like
any cardiovascular thing's going to suck on your lungs at that point.
No, I mean
Burpees,
like after like when I was recovering from COVID, it took me 2 months to get my lungs back. Like I would try to go running, having been cleared of COVID, and I could suck up all the air in my lungs as much as I tried to, and it just felt like my lungs were going, nope, that card's been declined. Like I felt air in my lungs, but it felt like they weren't absorbing them. And it took me 2 solid months. Anytime I'd try to run, my face would start tingling. I'd get dizzy. My vision would narrow. And I'd have to sit down because I got so dizzy and like almost nauseous. Like it was weird. I mean, I could get it there. Like, yeah, you're trying to recover from COVID. You got to do a PT test. I can only imagine how shitty that would be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know in the military too where they've had, hey, if you got to go get treatment, we're going to negatively counsel you for getting medical treatment. That happened. Recently happened too in the Army. I want to say, was it the 82nd? Not 82nd. It was some I don't fucking know. I'd have to look it up.
Well, honestly, it's like anything. You got the shitbags in there that are going to use it to do whatever they can to get out of work, same as any other work environment.
Yeah, this was it was some kind of training exercises going on. I'd have to look up the full story.
And then the people that actually need to get penalized for it.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. There's shitbags wherever you go, but there were people that actually had like recorded fucking trench foot for these field ops that they were doing, and like one squad lieutenant got relieved because he let his guys wear their snivel gear, and the higher up said, nope, no snivel gear is allowed. And he goes, no, they need it. This is the definition of the conditions that they would need it. That lieutenant got relieved.
Yeah, that's all that stuff's BS to begin with. You get issued all this gear, all this stuff.
And you're not allowed to wear it.
And you can't wear a fucking thing of it.
not below 32 degrees.
It's just an accountable item, sir.
Oh, it's 30. No, it's 33 degrees. No silks today, boys. No silks today.
That's
And heaven forbid you put your hands in your pockets. Whoa. You got to earn that right, son.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of earning, we're running on here near the end of the show. And as something that me and Scott have talked about before, and I mentioned it to you here before I had you on, was right around the end of the show, I want to do what's known as the farewell moment. And that's your time there, Fresh, that you can do whatever you want in terms of like you want to give anybody a shout out, you want to convey a message, you want to tell a story, anything that you want to be on the internet forever that we haven't discussed today. Do you have that moment for us?
no pressure.
Yeah.
All right.
Take it.
2 things I would say. First thing is get off your devices. Get out there and talk to people. You know, nowadays everybody is so hung up on their cell phones, this, that, and the other, that people are losing the skill to be able to talk to other people, to be able to actually convey a message to another person. You know, you're losing your interpersonal communication skills. You know, and it's sad when you see it out there. Like, you'll sit in the same room with another person and they'd rather text you versus just sit down and have a conversation.
And that's not just confined to like young generations. The older generations, the boomers and everything, they're just as bad on the phone.
Yeah. What was it? Einstein put a quote, said, I fear the moment when, what is it? I don't know, it's some Albert Einstein quote talking about basically machines taking over your life, you know, social media, things of that nature. Another thing is, everybody has an opinion on different things. whether it be politics, religion, this, that, any other. My biggest thing is you should be able to have a civil conversation with somebody if you don't agree with them. There shouldn't be whoever shouts the loudest is right.
My God, do you listen to this show? Because you're right on with everything that we preach about.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the biggest things that I see a lot in this day and age. Everybody's easily offended about different things.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. The world is never going to be a perfect place.
We seem to have lost our ability with our right to agree to disagree.
Exactly. And not only that, there's people just believe whatever they see on TV. They believe whatever they see on the news. 90% of the news is BS to begin with. I wish it would go back to the days of, like you were talking about the radio stations that you just listened to on the radio. Because back in that time, what they said was the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't left. It wasn't right. It was what is going on.
It was reported.
Exactly.
News reporting.
No, I just want people to be educated. Just don't swallow what anybody says as the absolute golden truth. Do your research on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Figure your own stuff out. Make your own opinions.
Come to your own conclusions.
Formulate what you think, you should be passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Amen.
So what you're saying is use some discernment, retain your humanity, treat other humans with respect, more or less.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
Do unto others.
That sounds familiar.
Heard that somewhere.
It's always refreshing to know that we're not alone, Scott.
You talking about aliens? Like, what are we talking about right now?
In terms of our way of thinking.
Whatever you want it to be.
Or aliens. I mean, I think they're real.
That is true.
But we're going to have to save that here for another time. So thanks for coming on the show here, Tim. I really appreciate it. And it was nice getting your insight into an entire just gambit, a smorgasbord of different topics that we've touched today.
Smorgasbord of shit, no problem.
But all right, guys, don't forget all the other different ways here that it is you can listen. It's all in the description below. Don't forget to check out all the other links like our social media there. Check out the merchandising shop at shop.spreadshirt.com/TET show. But all right, guys, that's all the time here for us. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And until we see you here next time, we hope to find you happier, healthier, and a little bit less bitter.
Goodbye. Goodbye. God bless.
Peace out.
Later.